This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
This is your captain, John Regan, sitting in for Vincent today. Welcome to USA Prepares. Go ahead and give the same disclaimer I've given the rest of the week. Vincent's not at Gitmo. It's just a case of, life inserting itself into radio. There's things that sometimes we have to do during daylight hours, and Vincent being a farmer, in addition to the real life stuff, he's got farm stuff too. So the combination of all of that makes it challenging sometimes when you've got a radio show that runs from 9 to 11 in the morning Central Time. And he's asked me to step in a few days this week. And I got a call from him yesterday. And so far as we know, Vincent will be back tomorrow. And I don't know if you ever say anything's normal around here, but back to normal. And while we're on announcements, next weekend, that's the 25th and 26th of June, there's an RK Prepper show at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in Springfield, Missouri. There's a number of USA Prepares instructors slated to be there, including Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Matt Stein, Craig Roberts, and of course Vincent. And they are planning to have a meetup at Jimmy's Egg on Saturday, that's June 25th at 6 p.m., where you can meet and talk with your favorite instructors. Dinner's Dutch Treat is available for less than $10. And Vincent has asked if you would mail him at Vincent@USAPrepares.com. If you plan on attending, put USA Prepares Reunion in the subject line, and just let them know how many people will be attending with you so that they can reserve space. And basically everybody's welcome unless you're with the government. Students, instructors, and guests are all welcome. And with us today, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, John. It's nice to be here again. I like working with you. You're different than Vincent. I have to work harder. Well, you're respectful, and you shouldn't be. You should lead me, because I'm like I'm like an encyclopedia. What do you want to know? And I'll just download what I know. Basically, I know that I don't know any of it. I just posted on Facebook this morning. You can get there at docram.com. They dropped the old casino in Las Vegas day before yesterday. And guess what? Then I posted the fire chief that was interviewed at 9/11 saying that Building 7 was a lie. And then I posted some never-before-seen footage of 9/11. And why people continue to believe that 9/11 happened is beyond me. And, I mean, there is now enough evidence to indicate that our country has been hijacked by a bunch of criminals, and that they are lying using the media, and that things like Sandy Hook. How many people believe that Sandy Hook actually happened? Raise your hands. And what you see is that there are still reports of people being interviewed about the children that they lost. It never happened. It was an exercise, and the government came out and said that Sandy Hook was an exercise for FEMA, and yet most people, not you or me, or most of the people listening, which is a very small part of America, realize that none of it's true. All of it, like Florida just a couple days ago, did happen. People were killed. This kid was set up to do that for another gun control law. And, it's like the American dream. The only way you can experience it is by being asleep. And I don't know what to think about America anymore. I can tell you that this is no longer the country I served and protected. And the problem is I'm now realizing that even when I was back then in the 70s and gung-ho out of graduate school working for the military, we're just probably as corrupt as today. It's just nobody noticed it like we all are today because Hillary Clinton is a criminal. And when I say that, I had top secret clearances. If I did what she did, the last woman that did what she did was executed in the electric chair less than 10 years ago. And the only reason she's running for president and probably going to make it is because she has paper on everyone in Washington like Pelosi and the rest of them. And here we are at the end of days with criminals hijacking America. BLM just came out. They intercepted an email from the head of BLM stating that they're going to be dropping a bunch of people into both conventions, Republican and Democratic, so that there's an opportunity for Obama to postpone the elections because of writing. Now, get a grip. What's real? Is that real, what I just said? I don't know. I didn't say it. I have reports from what I consider to be valid sources, and yet I wasn't the one that hijacked that email, so I don't know. I can tell you what I do know. In the state of Oregon, where I live, BLM is responsible for Burns, Oregon, where the Clinton Foundation ended up giving a uranium mine to China as part of our national debt. China now owns 50% of Grants Pass, Oregon, and that's not just our timber and mineral rights. Now that I do know is a fact. Oath keepers here have been infiltrated. Where am I going to go now? I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I don't have
what to do.
Yeah, I don't have an answer either. I was a captain in the basement of the Pentagon working on the nuclear planning system, and while I didn't know what all was going on, it's kind of like when you're in an apartment, you kind of know what your neighbors are doing, at least a little bit. And I was also watching what was going on across the Potomac in the Capitol, and I got so disgusted with the Republicans. The Democrats were already a lost cause, but both sides were violating their oath of office, which is the same oath I took to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as a captain at the Pentagon, there really wasn't very much I could do about that. And, things at least didn't look as evil back then.
Well, apparently they were, and now as I get to be a grumpy old man and, retired, not really, here I am not knowing what to do next and knowing I don't know, and there is a high likelihood I will never really know what happened. I can tell you that 9/11 Building 7 was a controlled fall. It's quite apparent by looking at the email post I did this morning. Here's the bad news. Why did they do it? Well, the only thing I can get up with, come up with and dot connecting is that they needed to get a terrorism bill through Congress for control of the American public, and they had to have a body count. They tried it with the USS Cole. They tried it with that post office in Oklahoma. Then they went to the trade center, and it was a botched job, and so they had to use a new weapon, and I started to try to write about that, and people physically, I've got pictures, physically came into my office when I wasn't there and wiped my hard drives in an attempt to try to stop me. and I'm going to name a name now. Carnegie Mellon is the one that was building the trigger. There was an individual that went out and purposely tried to stop me from publishing by questioning my credentials. And now, here we are, 4 years later, that article happened. It was a new weapon that we got from the Mossad. They were not involved with 9/11 as far as I know, but they certainly knew about it. And it was, I've got pictures of Arnold Schwarzenegger looking at the trigger at Argonne and the National Ignition Facility in Livermore. And so here's the physics of how it worked, and there it is. And they now have a nanofiber carbon that can be ignited with a teleportation laser in a 1.4 nanometer space, and they have a fusion bomb that's now being deployed everywhere in the East. You know, Gaza, Golan Heights, everywhere. And nobody is talking about it because guess what? The medias mostly are controlled by the people that are doing this as a way to hijack our country. We are doomed, and it almost, with the chemtrails and what's going on today, looks like our country has been hijacked and terraformed by aliens. I'm not saying that. I don't know. But it's so gross that everybody's getting sick from it. Now, why are they doing it? And have you heard a valid explanation from an official source? No. And why does it continue to be a big question when I'm an inquiring mind and wanting to know? And why is it that specific thugs will try to stop me writing articles? Why? I'm tired. Well, I'm tired. I've had enough. You know, I'm going to formally say to the world, put me on payroll, and I will be happy to spend the rest of my days up simply farming and living a quiet life. Trust me when I say that. I mean it. I've had enough. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do. I'm ready to quit.
That's John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We'll be back after this break.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision and independence to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. It's the leading cause of blindness in adults 55 and older. Some of us are at greater risk for AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD. If left untreated, it can lead to blindness. The good news, with early detection, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that can reduce or even reverse some vision loss. Learning that you have AMD can be scary, but there's hope and help. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is researching and developing treatments and cures for AMD. To get your free AMD information packet, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness today at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. Join the fight against AMD, because together there is a cure in sight.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
My computer is so slow, it's making crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682.
There is an affordable alternative to the high cost of healthcare that offers freedom from insurance while providing compliance with the Obamacare mandate. Imagine having access to quality, affordable healthcare that allows you the freedom to choose your doctor and hospital. Members can share up to 100% of necessary medical expenses, including alternative treatments. Find out how you and your family can contain healthcare costs without giving up your freedom. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
And this is John Regan at the controls today. Let me take a minute and discuss websites and phone numbers. So if you want to call in, you can get your pencil handy. The main page of usaprepares.com has the listen lines posted at the top of the blog section there. The call-in number for Genesis is 605-477-3249. I know we did have a day this week that wasn't working. We also have a listen line on Republic Broadcasting, and Vincent was telling me that the show has actually been moved to between 6 and 8 a.m. on Central Time. I've checked out the schedule at RBN, and they were still saying the 2 o'clock in the morning time frame. Their number is 605-582-5111, option 4. And you can also find the call-in number if you hit the listen tab at the top, and the links for your instructors can be found on the instructors tab. I'm at thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, and Richard Allen Miller is at docram, docram.com. And if you want to call in and ask a question, the call-in number is 1-866-582-9933, 1-866-582-9933. Well, Rick, I don't know if you saw, they launched another spy satellite Saturday. And I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it until somebody talked about the mission patch. And it was a knight in black armor, otherwise known as a Black Knight, which a lot of people believe is in reference to the satellite they found in orbit before we had a space program that could do things like that. Do you know anything about the Black Knight satellite?
Well, I know what I don't know. I know that NASA is doing a massive cover-up regarding the fact that we're about to have a bunch of billiard balls thrown into orbit in chaos with Earth. And I know they're covering that up. The Dark Knight has been around for a while. There are even some great commercials that are oriented around that, with Coca-Cola and the rest of it. So it's semi-common knowledge that there's some kind of conspiracy going on. I have no clue. I'll tell you what I do know. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you know that guess who visited me this weekend? David Morgan of the Morgan Report. He spent a couple days with me and has become a very good friend. Do you know of him and his silver report?
I might have read some of his work, but the name doesn't ring a bell.
So Chris Marcus, a friend of mine in Phoenix, called and said that when he was a Wall Streeter, he knew of David because there are about 5 of them, and David is possibly one of the more spiritual people. And what David had to tell me about what's going on in the financial market is creepy, and one of the several reasons why I did not go to Europe this year in July. I don't have the resources to bail myself out if I got in trouble and their banks closed. And right now, that's happening everywhere. In Grants Pass, I went to pay my rent, and Bank of America is now Bank of the Cascades. And so I went to Medford to pay my rent because my landlord lives in Hawaii and banks with Bank of America. And all 3 stores in Medford were closed and gone. And nobody had a clue where. What happened is, without notice, Bank of America closed a bunch of stores, starting with Roseburg in Oregon, all the way down into California at Crescent City, without notice. My landlord in Hawaii was freaked. She wanted to know where her money was that she had deposited. She called, and it took her 4 hours to finally find her money. It's fine, but they didn't tell her. How's that work?
It's a nice racket if you can afford it. John Regan, Dr. Richard Allen Miller will be back after this break.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Did you know a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-941-9796.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs, and it eliminates the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer, only available by calling 1-800-941-9796. That's 1-800-941-9796.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Longevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Longevity for over 17 years, since before it was Longevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Longevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Longevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Longevity.
This is John Regan at the controls with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. It's just a week from today, the vote for the Brexit, whether or not Britain is going to leave the European Union. And based on the recent polling data I've seen, that suggests that they will. And if that happens, there's all kinds of dominoes that can start falling and make for some interesting times. And you combine that with all the refugee situation, I'm wondering how long it'll be before we need to start referring to Europe as Europistan. The world's just gone totally crazy. Rick?
I'm telling you that there are things all around us, and I don't have answers. And if I don't have answers, what does that mean? I'm smart, and I don't get it. And I'm not sure I will ever really understand, but look at what they're doing blatantly in Hollywood with our presidential candidates. I mean, this is nuts to have Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton as our two choices. Why? Well, because there's something else going on. And they're so blatant, they don't even care what you think. There is now this BLM thing about hijacking the election so that Obama has to declare martial law because of rioting at the Democratic and Republican conventions. Go figure. I don't have answers. I don't know what's going on. I do know that in Grants Pass, for example, half our food is closed because Hagen's, both big stores, when they bought from Albertson, went bankrupt, and now there's less than 50% of the food in a 3-day delivery system in Grants Pass, Oregon, and nobody is noticing it. This is like boiling the frog, and right now it is the end of days because I have a friend from JPL that is retired. I've known him 40 years, telling me that Gerald Clark's math is correct. It should have happened on 2012. That's why the Mayan calendar from previous epochs is predicting it and the end of days. And the last major culture, the Clovis, crawled out of a cave with higher technology than us, crawled out of a cave in 600 years ago. The Hopi medicine sings about it. Nobody's talking about it except as conspiracy, and it's jazzed up with infiltration to add so much discredibility that L.A. is asleep at the wheel. And I couldn't live there. Their value systems are about money, and you know what money is. It's a theatrical prop and is about to collapse. when David Morgan visited me, he handed me a real $1 bill, showed me where it said so, and take a look at your $1 bill today. It's different. It does not say what the original one did because it's worth less than 3 cents. Literally.
Yeah, they're not even valid IOUs, because with a valid IOU, you're promising to pay something real. And
well, there's no gold, and now the yuan is about to do it, and here we are with banks summarily closing without notice. And 2 weeks ago, SWAT in Grants Pass, Oregon, did a practice on a closed bank with an NRAP. Where did we get an NRAP in Grants Pass, Oregon? And actually, last year, the Navy deployed in one of their chemtrail experiments lithium in Reedsport to actually say if they could lock down a city. It worked. Everybody there is sick. And guess what? Your chemtrail cough and your cotton mouth is a direct result of this. Nobody's telling us the truth, and we're being led by the nose, and it could just as easily be aliens terraforming the earth right in front of our eyes, and everybody's asleep and not asking questions of why are they doing this? You do, I do, others, but basically nobody's asking the right questions, and the media is a shambles, and now the candidates for president is a disgrace. And somebody's got to say it. I did. I don't know what to do. I don't have an answer. And everybody likes me because I'm always positive. You know, and I would like to be positive. I honestly, that's who I am. I'm Mr. Nice Guy. I'm a sweet old man. And I'm getting, not bitter, I'm getting depressed. I just want to go back into the woods and block the rest of the world out because I'm not interested in going over to Iraq or Afghanistan. Those people are so behind. They're not about nuclear weapons and proliferation and terrorism. I'm guessing the biggest terrorist in the world is the United States and the way they have used war for profit. And when I was over at Vincent's, he showed me a Ford Motor Company button with a swastika on it. Now that pretty well says it all. And they're using us like the Matrix, where we're a battery. So much in, so much out. And there's too many of us, so they're going to have a mass shooting so they can take down certain kinds of automatic weapons. That's what they've been pushing for ever since. And how did Yoda put it? My gun you may have. After I give you my bullets, I will. There it is. I'm mad as heck, and I'm not going to take it much longer. And I don't know what to do except retreat into my own quiet universe with my local friends and family. It's going to get really bleak shortly. David Morgan says there's going to be events happening before September with the banking system. And it's already starting to show its ugly head in Europe. And if you want to know how it's going to play here in America, simply look at what's going on in Venezuela this moment. 2 years later, we're going to be just like Venezuela, exactly, where BLM has given away our natural resources, and the rest of it is taken over by the government because there are no sources for food. Our farmland.
Yeah, I see a lot of signs, and I try to report on as many as I can, that the next recession is imminent. And
it can't not happen.
Yeah, and the thing is this is the one that we don't get up from. The world has at least $100 trillion in debt. McKinsey says it's over $200 trillion, and that doesn't count all the unfunded liabilities of the social insurance programs and the pension funds. There's nothing to build from this time.
Yeah. We don't have any gold. It's gone. Where did it go? How did that work? And now all our natural resources are owned by China. At least here in Oregon. I suspect that that's what it was about in Bundy Ranch when they tried to put in those solar panels, and they tried to use that little frog as a endangered species like we did spotted owl here. I don't know. What I do know is I don't know, and there's a high likelihood I may never really know what happened.
You know, I kind of wonder if back in the 60s, the third James Bond film, Goldfinger,
yeah.
Wasn't telegraphing a bit of a message, but rather than using radiation, I have to wonder if they didn't go in and replace the real gold bars with gold-plated tungsten.
I'm certain that they did that a long time ago. You know, the Fed was actually started by China. That's who underwrote us. I forget where the actual physical gold came from, but there's no gold now. And where did it go? Well, you can start with people like Bill Clinton, who was the worst criminal out of Arkansas, according to one federal judge, and is moving, cocaine, his war on drugs, through Mexico into the United States, and is complicit because she was married to him and ignored it. And now, if and she will be the one elected president, she will appoint her husband head of the United Nations. And now you will have the single most powerful couple in the world working directly for the two Bushes. Grandpa would have been proud.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting that Daddy Bush and David Rockefeller share the same birthday.
Imagine that. Isn't that interesting? Different years. I remember when John Belushi played our current young son, Bush, when he was graduating from college. He was toga party. At the end of the movie, he's driving in a big Cadillac with a buxom blonde off to Washington. That's John Belushi using George W. as his character.
Yeah, it's like I've heard, if people knew what was really going on in government, there'd...
Well, everything is about leverage. That was L. Ron Hubbard, Battlefield Earth, OTO, like me. I am, by the way, the first physicist that didn't blow myself up. And I've got things to say. And really, the whole thing's nuts. L. Ron Hubbard talks about leverage and the way you blackmail. And that was a way of being for power. And that's where we're going. Battlefield Earth. Everybody has a happy ending in Hollywood. I think we've been hijacked by aliens. I think that there's something else going on. When I say aliens, I mean imagination is reality, and we are creating our own apocalypse and our aliens with our imagination. And with a little spin doctoring, here we go. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Fine.
It's John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com. 720-432-6433. 720-432-6433.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL. 866-91-STEEL.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
I'm Jesse Gonzalez, Vice President at Kmart. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies in the United States, or that survivors can face a lifetime of serious health problems? But you can help. Join me in Kmart for the March for Babies Walk. We'll work together to raise funds for research and programs that help the marginalized fight premature birth and birth defects and improves the health of moms and babies. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
This is John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. There's a topic I talked with Vincent about on Monday and Dr. Shealy with yesterday. And Rick, I know you've got a good understanding, or at least a different perspective on the brain. What's your opinion on this generation snowflake? And is there any way we can actually reach them or change them to where they're not so fragile?
I don't know what Operation Snowflake. I need to be queued up. Maybe you can cue me up quickly, and then I'll recognize it. John?
That's what they're calling it. I'm here. Generation Snowflake is what they're calling the young people that need their safe spaces, and they can't have their their paradigm confronted, or they break down crying.
That is conditioning just for response when everything else has been taken away from you and you have no clue what to do next. What do? You melt down. And it's time for us to move to the next level. That's just mind control, and look at how well it's working. Look at these people and how they respond. You know, Tavistock aside, there are things going on that take the mind of America. And that's why the Matrix came out like it did. There are things going on I can't even begin to articulate in terms of the subtlety. You know, I remember, and I've said this before, when the CIA asked about their position in mind control, they said, mind control, no, we don't need mind control. We already have TV. It is mindless. And watch the glaze over. And then having all these different places that want to do a survey on what you watch on TV. And when I said I don't watch TV, well, we want to thank you for taking our survey, and as a reward, we're going to give you TV. You know, it's like there's no way out unless you form your own kibbutzim. It's closed, community, self-sustaining, and with oars, so you can leave orbit.
Yeah, you know, when I was growing up, I had the stay-at-home mom, and by my generation, my first wife was an Air Force officer too, so once we went on active duty, our daughter had to go into daycare. But even that's changed now, because daycare now has so many more options and technology. You know, once the kids get old enough, they just sit them in front of the screen. They get a little bit older, they play video games. You know, they get a little bit older and they have their cell phones and do texting. They don't have any real personal interaction or communication skills.
And they're calling it Common Core, the way they educate our children. It's really kind of depressing, all things considered.
And I just don't know if there's any way of guiding their minds back, because it's like they're incapable of any kind of rational thought. You have to reach them on an emotional level. And
what I've been doing is writing for 4 years for a skateboard magazine out of New York City, with the reader subscription base is less than 27. And 37, excuse me. And I just wrote on the time travel and the true nature of cavitation. And let me tell you this, the kids are getting it, but the problem is we now have 2 generations without parents.
And we're reaping the results. It's John Regan, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Will be back after the top of the hour news break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy, or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Vaping enthusiasts, head to VaporPalace.com. Choose from over 150 flavors and a selection of exclusive private stock vapor liquid you won't find anywhere else. New flavors are added every month, and our customer service is unbeatable. VaporPalace.com offers 15% off all vapor liquid on Fridays and get 10% off every order with coupon code VAPOR10 at checkout. Combine the codes on Fridays for 25% off. The ultimate destination for the vaping enthusiast. VaporPalace.com.
And this is John Regan behind the microphone today. Vincent's due back with us tomorrow. Should be able to wrap up everything today. And just to remind everybody, RK Prepper Show next weekend. That's Saturday and Sunday, June 25th and 26th at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds in Springfield, Missouri. Used to live not too far from there. It'd be quite a trek now. I wish I could make it because there's just going to be a number of our USA Preparedness instructors, including Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Matt Stein, Craig Douglas, and Vincent Finelli. And there's going to be a special meetup at Jimmy's Egg on Saturday evening, June 25th at 6 p.m. And if you want to really get a chance to get into conversations with your instructors and or just fellow students, there are a lot of interesting ones with those too. Vincent's asked you to email him, Vincent@usaprepares.com with USA Prepares Reunion in the subject line. Just let them know how many people are coming with you so that they can reserve space, and all students, instructors, and guests are welcome. Well, Rick, I've come across some Fukushima news. There's not a whole lot coming out with the crackdown over there, but it's kind of like all of it's disturbing. I've got billions of pieces of Fukushima nuclear fuel have spread pretty much everywhere. Wherever there's cesium, there's plutonium. The atomic bomb had 1 pound of uranium. Fukushima had hundreds of tons. Another article specifically said 600 tons of melted fuel still not found. We also get the news that 16 United States Navy ships are still contaminated with radiation. And the latest I've seen is that we now have over 400 veterans suffering serious illnesses from their exposure to the radiation right after the initial blast.
Yeah, it is a real serious problem. And isn't it interesting that there are life forms that seemingly are thriving in this hostile environment called black goo? I wonder what that really is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You think back on, all the Godzilla movies where you had a radioactive Japan, and you just wonder, was that more telegraphing their intentions?
I don't know. Hollywood is the primary tool used by the one percenters to control the media and masses. And it's interesting with that one movie, what was it called? It was something about Jupiter Rising, where at the end of the movie, the alien is saying, it's all about food chain. Even orca hunts dolphin, and both of those mammals are, in my opinion, more evolved than man. And yet, there is a food chain. And Bob Dylan used to say, everybody's got to serve somebody. Now, I don't know what it all means, but I know that this is not the country that I served and protected, and the one that my parents grew up in. I remember when my father, before he died, was completely disenchanted and felt betrayed because of the Republican Party. He was a strict Republican, and he was disillusioned. And I remember the look on his face when he got it. My dad.
I was also wondering, did you know anything about these micro nukes? Something that I had never heard discussed when I was in the nuclear planning system, and apparently some of this just got declassified in the 90s. And one of these is so small, the yield is 0.0012 kilotons.
You know, that's the neutron fullerene fusion bomb, where they have a fullerene molecule, a C60, and they put a small deuterium in the center of it, and it's controlled at 1.4 nanometers. Contained explosion. That's the fusion bomb. That's what Carnegie Mellon tried to stop me publishing. That's the weapon I said is being deployed everywhere now. And yet you don't know anything about it. You never heard of it before.
And some of the specifics I'm seeing on this, the maximum light radius is 25.4 meters, roughly 25 yards for those of us here in the United States. The light pulse width is 0.011 seconds. The maximum fireball airburst radius, 10.6 meters, again, roughly 10 yards. Time of maximum temperature, 0.0032 seconds. Area of radiation exposure, 0.12 square miles. Just 5 pounds of blast wave for a radius of 0.9 kilometers. 1 pound per square inch radius is 0.26 kilometers. Crater diameter 56 feet with a Richter magnitude of 3.52.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it, where we're going? It's a new world. We're not prepared for it, education-wise or not, and they're making sure of that with our educational system. They started that after my education. I'm very lucky. I had to learn Latin in second grade.
And, by the time I was in high school, Latin was still taught at the high school, but it was optional. And we didn't even have calculus at our high school.
I not only had calculus, when I went to college, I was already doing integral variables and complex numbers before I even got to college.
Back in 2008, I was reading a statistic where, especially if you were in a scientific or technical major, that knowledge would be increasing so quickly that by the time you finished your 4-year degree, that half of what you learned would be obsolete before you graduated. And given the velocity of everything today, I'm thinking that's probably pretty close to true.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. What I do know is I don't know. Why is that? I would like to know. And why is our government not serving us? Why are they the enemy, where they are gearing up for revolution? Why is that?
It's that there's an in crowd, and we're not part of it. But I'm also looking at all the brain work going on, whether it's the being able to read the brain waves and get the words or the images out of it, or the other way around, implanting, the messing with memories, the connection to the internet, and I can see very quickly with the advance in knowledge and humans trying to compete with artificial intelligence, if you don't choose to augment yourself, you won't be able to compete. Because, just take, for example, a CPA that works with the tax code. The tax code is 7 times the size of the Bible. And we can't even come close to really understanding something that small. And to have an artificial intelligence that can handle the whole thing, a CPA just couldn't compete without the augmentation. It's going to be...
The cool part is that's why we need to evolve, because the distinction between intent, which actually is what you do and what you happens, is slightly different than purpose. At our level of consciousness, they look like the same, but they're not. And a machine does not feel pleasure when it beats you in chess. That's what we have that a machine does not. It has more of the physical plane, but it has nothing else. And we were given choice. That's emotional and how you feel about things.
I just think back to the movie War Games back in the 80s, where they finally got the computer to play out the scenarios and nobody wins. But I just wonder with today's AI, if it starts playing out the scenarios and it decides that humans are the problem, what happens next?
Yeah. Well, there it is. Life forms like black goo are somehow encouraging us to terraform for their best interest, not ours.
And saw another article kind of resurrect itself. Found the original from May of 2014. Scientists discover how to turn light into matter. I think Star Trek is here.
Well, here we are, the end of days, and we have a choice. And actually, it doesn't have to be bad, John. It actually is an opportunity, and that's why in recent interviews, I am now suggesting it will always be about attitude. You have a choice, and you can see this as an opportunity to finally get off your butt and evolve.
This is John Regan with Dr. Regan Miller. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Hi, I'm 54 years of age, and at Christmas time last year, a resident I take care of at work accidentally rolled over my right foot with his motorized scooter. I was backed into a corner, and he put it in reverse and did it again. The bones in my foot weren't actually broken, but damage was done. The remedy was to just let the foot heal on its own, and this was expected to take many weeks. As a caregiver, I do a lot of walking, and I was sort of okay when I was in motion. It's when I stopped to rest that I really felt the pain. The pain was there getting out of bed in the morning, too. So I got on the One World Way a few weeks back, and I just had to write this testimony. No more pain. Nothing. I can only attribute this to the One World Way since I haven't introduced anything else into my life. This product is a true godsend. It gives me energy and did whatever magic this stuff does to heal my poor foot. I will take One World Way for life. Sincerely, Holly.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
This is John Regan at the controls today. And if you'd like to join us here, the call-in number is 1-866-582-9933. That's 1-866-582-9933. You know, Rick, I was reading an article this morning from the Daily Mail, and there's an inventor here in Texas, down in San Antonio, that's designed an engine that's actually based on 200-year-old technology known as Stirling technology that says they can get 100 miles to the gallon, which means you could travel coast to coast on 40 gallons of gasoline. And normally when I see something like this, I'm a bit concerned they might get raided and the technology disappear, or the guy ends up suffering a reduced lifespan courtesy of the government. But this time it seems like it's going to get a little bit more traction because Texas A&M University is going to be doing some studies on this to verify what he says this engine can do. And that would certainly help out our fuel situation, and if this does work.
I don't understand. We are actually probably right now being hacked. I just got a note from Michael Stovall in Texas saying that we're not on their Houston station like we normally. I'm getting no sound on GCN in Houston. And you get sound on YouTube, can get sound on YouTube. Something's going on, and now there's Exhibit A.
Yeah, I noticed there's been a lot of internet issues lately, and it's been kind of across the board. It's affected Skype, it's affected shows, it's affected websites. In fact, one of the websites I go to look at the internet attacks isn't even working. So
I know, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Here we are. What does it all mean? Well, I've become a target just like you. Jan say is whatever. I don't understand, but something is going on, and I don't understand. Well, I do. I just don't know what to do.
I think we know the best thing that we can do is do what we can locally to help
You start with your family, yourself first. Before you can do anything in the world, you have to change yourself. That's why I'm doing what I do in pathworking and writing my books.
And the more we can raise of our own food, the better off we are. Having access to water, being able to take care of sanitation once utilities aren't there, being able to provide heat without those utilities. The more we can have that self-reliance like our not too distant ancestors used to have, the better off we'll be regardless of what comes.
So I don't have an answer. I have a local crisis. I may have to step aside here for a moment and take care of business. I knew this was going to happen, but I was hoping it didn't. Now I'm having a problem. If I seem distracted, I'm trying to use another phone to call to see how I can help.
Okay.
I know. It's never ending, isn't it?
If you do need to step away, let me know. I can pull up my website. There's always a ton of things that I never get a chance to get to during Mondays. There's just way too much news going on. Where we're being attacked from all sides. And
I'm on the air right now, and I'm calling on my cell phone. What the fuck is going on? You told me last night you'd take care of it. Now are you failing, or what are you doing? Hold your head.
This is John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We'll be back after the bottom of the hour break.
Julie, drive you. I can bring you home.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
As a doctor, I see patients every day who are losing their vision to age-related macular degeneration, also known as AMD. If you have blurry vision or blind spots, they can be symptoms of AMD, and if untreated, could lead to blindness. The good news, AMD can be managed with effective clinically approved treatments that may reverse some vision loss. For free AMD information, contact the Foundation Fighting Blindness at 1-800-BLINDNESS. That's 1-800-BLINDNESS. There is a cure in sight.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lung lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Think about this. Your community's aging water infrastructure systems are very likely to be contaminated with heavy metals like lead, disinfection chemicals like ammonia, chlorine and chloramines, and pharmaceuticals like statins, pain meds, and antidepressants. And no, water treatment plants are not equipped to filter these pharmaceutical toxins out. Protect your family's water supply with the trusted Big Berkey water filter. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show Big Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria, and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification, and our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
This is John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We talked earlier about looks like we're going to have a financial collapse this year, and I definitely would not be surprised to see that happen. And we tend to use some terms interchangeably. We'll talk about financial collapse, economic collapse. They're not the same. The financial collapse, the financial system, is an abstract of the economy. And when we had the mini collapse of 2008, after that, I had a coworker that told me that she'd lost half of her 401k. And that's pretty darn painful, and I don't know how much, if any, of that's recovered by now. But we're seeing signs that not only could we see stocks go down 50%, they could even go down 80% based on what the charts look like. And while that financial collapse is painful, when it starts getting into economic collapse where the economy itself stops working, that's when things get even scarier. Again, you used Venezuela as an example, but when that supply chain breaks down, there starts to be a lot of unrest. What countries typically do at that point is start wars, and we're already at the point where there's only 10 countries in the world that's not at war. And if it does go the war route, that's when I would expect us to have the grid down situation, which is very deadly. The alternative to that is they implement the one world, new world order, one currency, totally controlled economy and life environment. And about the only way I can really relate to that in a small period of time is, imagine Nazi Germany on steroids, because the technology we have today for surveillance and control is way, way beyond what they had back in the 40s. And again, I'm with Rick. I don't see a solution to that short of what you can do to take care of yourself and your loved ones and anybody else locally that you care about. And all we can do is look at learning those skills, improving that, and that's a journey in itself. But solution-wise, I think that's about it. Don't you, Rick?
I don't know anything about money. It's like a theatrical prop. It doesn't really have any meaning for me. What means for me is labor. And when I do something, that has value. When I'm paid $2 or $20 or $20,000, it seems like it's gone as quickly as I get it, no matter what it is. And I just don't understand anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting to see what's happened. And since the 70s, which I didn't enter the workforce until the 70s, when you adjust for inflation, there's been no increase in wages. So even though what you see go into your bank account might be bigger digits, they don't buy as much, but the government doesn't adjust its income tax based on inflation. So now you're paying higher tax rates because you're making, quote unquote, more money. So you're actually left with less money to buy stuff that you can't afford.
I have for 25 years paid labor in the woods with cash, and each year this year I'm doing Cascara so that I can make a few bucks because I'm penniless right now, and literally any money I have has gone into trying to put another book in print, and I'm tapped out. Now, with that said, I've got a whole bunch of books ready to go to press and no way to get there from here. And when I used to do $10,000, I got registered. So I have been doing $9,000 transfer every day to pay labor in the woods. And today, never before, both my bank and Wells Fargo require photo ID, even though I've been banking there for 30 years. They require photo ID and my social security number each time I do $9,000. There's never been before, and now I have to do it. Everything is changing in the bank, and I mean everything. And nobody is being, awake to the fact that it's different than it was yesterday. And when Bank of America closed all those stores without notifying any of their clients, what? I've never heard of that before. It happened. I've never seen SWAT doing an exercise around a closed bank to practice. I saw that 2 weeks ago. What do you think that all means, John?
Well, here the Dallas police were doing riot control exercises.
What do you think? I don't know. I don't have expertise in banking and those areas. I am not educated in that. I'm a nerd. I'm not finance. I don't know what it means.
And they make it difficult for people to understand.
Yeah, convoluted, and I'm not easily snowed, and I can't get there from here.
I'm very good at math. The very first time I took the GRE for grad school, I scored in the 99th percentile, and I took the derivatives class, which was part of the required coursework for my master's in finance. And the mathematics in that just made my eyes water. It's like nobody can really understand this stuff, and that's what this advanced, betting system on the economy is based off of.
It's creepy. I don't know what it means, and here we are, with... I have never had to struggle. I've always said making money was easy for someone like me. I have always worked for myself, and everything is changing now, the rules. And I don't know what it means. I really am concerned. And so what I'm doing now is trying to make myself as educated as I can. Good luck. I don't know where it's all going to play. Don't know.
You know, and some of this has been, well, a lot of this has been going on for so long. Like I found geoengineering has been going on since the early 50s before I was born. There were patents as well as programs. Then we've got, you know, the more political side where they've been working to take away our rights and freedoms and just, you know, turn up
and
the...
you know what bothers me the most, John, is that it's on a local level, not just national. I'm talking about the local politics and judicial system in Grants Pass, Oregon is a disgrace, just like our national one is. And that's the good old boy infrastructure from logging.
Well,
I don't know what to think.
Well, it's not any different in Tennessee either. You know, Mike Parsons, we hope that he gets out of jail alive. And his crime was, you know, trying to provide an alternative to the good old boy local politics there.
Yeah. I don't know. Something's wrong in Guacamora. I don't have the answers at this point.
Well, maybe we should turn back to physics for a little bit.
Good luck with that. Physics doesn't have the answers, or I'd be on it, and I can't figure it all out. Something else is going on here. I don't like it, and I'm not happy, and I don't know what to do about my vote. I'm being told that BLM is actually plotting to bring a whole bunch of people in to disrupt the conventions. And the Republican Party is in splits, and the Democratic Party is a joke. What do we got left?
I think it's going to be a very interesting summer. I really hope we get through the Republican convention without a big false flag. There's a number of high-level Republicans that are not going to the convention. And then on the Democrat side, I've seen where WikiLeaks is planning on releasing a dump of Hillary emails. And be interested to see the timing on that. If they do it after the convention, then what would the Democrats be able to do at that point to get somebody on the ballot? So it'd probably be...
I don't have answers. I don't know what to say. I really don't.
If you want to live in interesting times, this is it.
It's about change, and so I'm going to try to change myself. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm not going to take drugs, but that's the usual direction, you know, to escape. Actually, Timothy Leary actually said in his Varieties of Psychedelic Experiences that the Buddhists get high for 4 reasons, and only one of them was for escape and recreation. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is. You know, I've been, you know, looking at all the psychological warfare that's been waged against us, and it's actually, I guess, older than we thought. I saw where Rome had these bullets that made whistling sounds 1,800 years ago. It's John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. And now introducing trauma pads. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Here's Dr. Paul Meyer, Christian psychiatrist, author of 85 books, and founder of the national chain Meyer Clinics, to tell you about To Your Health liquid vitamins.
I've been taking these every day for over a decade now, and I try to encourage every one of my clients to take them every day. And there's a number of reasons. First of all, it's the best vitamins you can get. It's got dozens of vitamins, antioxidants, and nutrients in it. And then the most important reason why I do it as a psychiatrist and recommend it to my patients is because it's got brain food in it. It's got the essential amino acids. It's got tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, choline, vitamin B6, and these chemicals that are all natural from food turn into the brain chemicals that make you happy.
To Your Health is delicious. Find out more today. Call us 800-801-3459 or visit online at mytoyourhealth.com. Use the coupon code RADIO15 for a 15% discount on your order. That's mytoyourhealth.com.
DarkCityDefense.com was born in Black Mountain, at the foot of the Black Mountain Range in North Carolina. From the Dark City, as it's affectionately been named, we've built an online firearms pro store that boasts a vast range of firearms, optics, and outdoor supplies. With aggressively low everyday pricing and a free gift pack with every firearms purchase, DarkCityDefense.com is committed to Tier 1 customer service and overcoming darkness by turning on the light of liberty. Find the light in our logo and find out more at DarkCityDefense.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
This is John Regan with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Vincent should be back with us tomorrow. And we've talked about your website, docram.com. And we've talked about your being at the RK Prepper Show next weekend. Is there anything else you have coming up that we should know about?
Probably, but I'm so distracted with a hack on my computer at this moment, an email that I'm currently getting. Did you know yesterday alone I had 279 spam? That's not the email I got that I need to respond to. That's the interspersing distraction. I'm being overwhelmed.
You're not the only one. I'm not even counting them, but I'm probably well over 200 a day. And some of these,
what I
get
do
6
is I
copies
go in
of.
and count them by, when I put them in trash, then I go back and count them so I know how many. And guess what? I had 200. I don't know. I don't even want to go there. I got to go. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Yeah, you take care.
You too. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.
Well, let me go pull up some news we didn't get to. If you want to follow along on my website, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, on the news tab, looking at resources for USA Prepares for June 6th and 7th, down in the bigger picture section, near the bottom, I've got a link. The process nears completion. And this talks about an interview that was done with a former KGB agent back in the 1980s. And the link under that video, the complete interview, it's quite interesting. But it's basically a 4-step process. Number 1 is demoralize. And that's been so successful. The morals of the country have been utterly destroyed. Destabilize. We've seen that more and more. 3, create a crisis. And then after the crisis, renormalize. And that's the strategy. It looked like in the 80s that was going to be imminent. I think what changed there is rather than having the unrest, which has to be dealt with rather severely, they were able to get people to vote our wonderful non-representatives and presidents into office that did a fantastic job of taking apart our country. It's been both parties. On the financial side, it's been primarily the Democrats destroying the money and also the debt with the social programs. On the Republican side, they've done a great job exporting our jobs, many times with the help of a Democrat president. And both sides have contributed to eating away at our freedoms. They just do it from different sides. And unfortunately, I don't see a way of returning the United States to the way it was. We can't go back. We have to go forward. And unfortunately, that forward includes the biggest financial reset that we've ever seen in human history. We have over $200 trillion in debt, according to McKinsey. And we have well over $200 in unfunded liabilities, and that's if we had the money today to invest at over 5% interest. So the reset's going to be interesting, and that's why you should be listening to USA Prepares to do what you can to help your loved ones. Remember, class, honesty and integrity, what happens next is up to you.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com. and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The best kept secret in the firearms business is CDNNsports.com. CDNN Sports is the largest firearms liquidator in the U.S. We've got optics, accessories, gun parts, magazines, ammunition, and more. Sign up for our email specials today for the best gun deals, period. You will also be entered to win a Winchester 101 field shotgun. Go to Charlie, Delta, Novembersports.com. That's CDNNsports.com.
This is Holly Thomas, Group Vice President of Cause Marketing for Macy's. Our company is working together with the March of Dimes through March for Babies to raise money and awareness about the serious problem of premature birth in the U.S. That's why Macy's is committed to raising funds through our employees, customers, family, and friends to improve the health of moms and babies everywhere. Won't you please join us in March for Babies? Start a team today at marchforbabies.org.